so that when I pull the basswood cord tight, the leaves are stuck on the nettle twine. So we have our first pair put on. Then I'm going to grab another pair. So an outer leaf and an inner leaf. And I'll do the same thing, put the inner leaf inside the outer leaf, just like that. But this time, I'm going to leave the cups facing me. So I'll hold them like this, wrap the cord over, and this time I'll put them behind the nettle twine and fold the ends over, put the loop over the top, and pull tight. So now we have 2 pairs on. So what do you think I'll do with this one? Put the inner inside the cup of the outer. Since this one was facing the wall, this cup was facing me, this cup is going to face the wall again. Wrap over the twine, fold, put the loop over, and pull tight. Then grab another pair. So those cups face the wall. These cups will stay facing me. Move over, tuck behind, fold over, and pull the basswood cord tight. And notice that keeping it wet makes sure these leaves stay flexible and they don't crack when you fold them over. And you can see I can keep making the mat longer and longer as long as I have cattail leaves. This one faced me, so this one will face away. Wrap over, put on top, fold, pull tight. As you can see, I've added quite a bit to the mat here. Mats could sometimes be 8 feet long and 4 feet tall, but I'm going to make this one quite a bit smaller than that. And all I really have to do is just cut the basswood and make a couple knots with the stinging nettle. Now if mats were larger, some Native American cultures used to tie sticks to the ends so that they would support the mat when it was placed on the side of a wigwam. So I've made a couple knots there. I will just snip the stinging nettle. So I have the start of a mat. Here you can see the cattail mat. You can tell that it's quite a bit smaller than what a real mat would have been. I ended up trimming off the edges just so this is a sample mat. If this were a real mat and put alongside of a wigwam, this would go on top and the bottom edge would be on the ground. Now if you remember, when we soaked the leaves, we soaked them differently. The inner leaves had their bottom soaked and the outer leaves had their tips soaked. And since the outer leaves had their tips soaked, that meant that that end was tied up here. So the outer leaves had their bases down here. And having that thick base helped support the mat when it was up on the side of a wigwam. You will also remember when we were tying the leaves on that we alternated, having sometimes the cups face down or sometimes they face up. And the last part of making a sewn cattail mat is sewing it all together. And that alternating plays a part in the sewing process. When we start sewing, we are going to actually sew every other pair. This is a pair where the cup faces like this. So we are going to sew this one. We're going to skip the next one. And then take the one after that. And this is another one where the cup faces this way. So when we sew, we're always going to sew together the pairs that are like this. And once we're done with this side, we are going to flip the mat over and do the same thing on the other side. We are going to sew a line right about here. If this were a larger mat, sometimes lines would be sewn every 10 centimeters or every couple of inches. But we are just going to sew one line along here. And to start that off, I'm going to kind of sprinkle the mat with a bit of water. Okay, what else we're going to need is our matting needle. This is my matting needle. And also some basswood string. And here I have cut this piece of string to be about twice the length of the mat. So that means I'll sew this side and then sew the other side. So what I'm going to do is simply thread the needle, pull a little extra out, and then start on this end. Since sewing can be the trickiest part of making a mat, I'm going to try to show you the process up close. Now remember, we are going to be sewing every other pair of leaves, and they are the ones that are going to be like this. So here's a pair of leaves, and what we are going to do is work with each one a little bit differently. The bottom leaf, or the inner leaf, is going to be pierced with the matting needle. So we're just going to go up and through. Then the upper leaf, we are going to do something different. We are going to go up, but before we go through the top, we are going to change the needle a little bit and then push so that we actually go through the leaf, like that. See how we are underneath that side and also underneath this side. So once we've done that, then we can gently pull the needle through. So that's actually sewn both of these pairs together. Then we can move on to the next pair that is cupped. So we are going to sew every other pair just like this, going up through the inner leaf and slightly poking into the upper leaf and then going through. Alright, we're going to try to sew this mat. This is our first pair that we want to sew. And this is the inner leaf and outer leaf. So again, I'm going to poke up through the bottom leaf, or the inner leaf, and then poke up and into, and then go through the upper leaf. Gently pull the needle through. So I will skip the next one, and then sew the one after that. So again, up through the bottom one, poke into the top one, and then go through. Skip, find the next pair you want, which is cup down. Through the bottom leaf, through the top leaf. And try not to pull the cord too tight as you're working. You kind of want to leave them spaced a bit. Got my cord stuck. So I'm going to continue this process until I get to the end. Alright, now I'm done sewing every other pair on this side. So what I'm going to do is basically flip the mat over. You see that the pairs that I sewed are on the bottom. So again here, I'm going to start at the end and start sewing the pairs of leaves that look like this. Guess I may have to get it wet on this side too. Leave it a little bit loose. See, I'm going to sew every other pair again, because the other pair is actually already sewed on the other side. So when we get done, this will actually be a 4-layer mat. 2 layers in each pair and 2 layers to the whole mat. And this layering was great because when you put it on the side of a wigwam, it would help keep the rain off, keep the snow off, and having the outer leaves face with their cups down actually helps shed the rain. So all of the leaves that are on the outside look like this. So it'll be a nice siding. So once again, I'll just continue sewing. Well, I'm done sewing this side too, so I think all that's left to do is tie the ends together. If this mat were full size, I may want to add sticks to the sides to strengthen it, or maybe sew another row further down, but as it is, this mat is pretty small. The only other thing I would do was go up top here and kind of poke the ends through or bring others forward so that they match whatever side they're on. But otherwise, this mat is pretty much done. I wish you luck in any of the projects you do.